Wilfred Frost is with us tonight from Buckingham Palace. He's now an anchor for our sister network Sky News in the UK, but he's also a CNBC contributor and friend. Wilf, welcome back. Good to see you. Talk about the significance of the Queen's funeral on Monday, coming as it does at what will be the end of a long period of national mourning.
Tyler, it's great to see you as well. Well, listen, it's the first state funeral since Winston Churchill's in 1965, the first monarch's funeral since the Queen's father, George VI, in 1952. But this is just going to be so much bigger. There'll also be, for example, a half-mile-long procession during the course of the day. But I think more importantly, it's going to be so much more moving, so much more profound as well. It's going to be an enormous privilege for the 2,000 or so guests inside, but we will get to watch as well. This is the first monarch's funeral ever to be broadcast live, and if estimates are to believe, hundreds of millions of people will watch it around the world, and this nation, for sure, will stop in its tracks.
And the first monarch that many people from Great Britain around the world have ever lived under, and maybe the last queen for many, many people's lifetimes. Now, leaders are going to be flying in from all over the world, including President Biden. What's the protocol surrounding their visits, Will?
Yeah, so the default of who gets invited is that it's fellow heads of state. That means for countries like Italy, you'll get President Mattarella, not Prime Minister Draghi, or Spain, you'll get King Felipe, not Prime Minister Sanchez. That is, unless the king is the country's head of state, in which case it's the head of government that comes. So Prime Minister Trudeau or Prime Minister Albanese of Australia, for example. Now, when it comes to the US, of course, President Biden is both head of state and head of government, not to mention from the most important country and our closest ally. So he will waltz his way onto the guest list. As for his predecessors, almost certainly going to miss out. The default has to be one couple from each country, or else you open a can of worms going back for past leaders. That said, Eisenhower did attend Churchill's funeral, though no longer serving president in a personal capacity, so maybe still a small glimmer of hope for some of those past presidents. On other world leaders, the leaders of Belarus and Russia not invited because of the war, and other countries where the UK suspended diplomatic relations, for example, Afghanistan, also not making the cut. Prime Minister Truss will hold a quick bilateral with Biden. Their first meeting, of course, Tyler, with her as Prime Minister.
As you reflect, Wolf, on the last 8 days or so, what are your personal thoughts?
I think, you know, all week we've been discussing, Tyler, with Shep, this slightly strange, positive and warm tone to proceedings. And that has continued with those people queuing in line, as Valerie mentioned. Partly, I think, because people haven't let go of her yet. It's almost as if it hasn't fully quite happened. I think as we reach Monday, that will change. There'll be a finality to it. And as I said at the top, I think it will be very somber and moving. But our country does do these things very well. And I believe she will get a fitting send-off, which is saying quite something come Monday.
Wilfred Frost, great to see you. Thanks very much.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.